Well, Newcastle have to reflect that every setback has to be the start of a comeback. Now comes the moment that Wembley is all about on occasions like this, the climbing of the stairs. And there are two captains, because Bruno Fernandes started the match with the armband, but the club captain, of course, is Harry Maguire, who started on the bench, but who did get a few minutes at the end, and the likelihood is that they will be presented with the trophy together. Maguire, who was a disappointed Euro 2020 finalist here with England, can afford to smile today. Only got the briefest cameo appearance at the end, but he and Bruno Fernandes going up together to do the honours here, leading the victorious line. And the impressive thing about Erik ten Hag and the way he's built this team is the way that he has put a lot of leaders in there.
Yeah, people have emerged. I mean, look, every single one of them is playing at the best level. You know, we've not mentioned Varane a lot, but I mentioned Casemiro and Rashford being Manchester United's two most important players. I actually think Varane's not far behind. He's critical now at the back. Such vast experience, but he's not really got going in the Manchester United shirt. But these last few months, absolutely fantastic there. And I have to say, every single one of them is playing at their maximum and at the best. And that's all you can ask from a group of football players. At the end of last season, some of those players were part of a team that were labelled a disgrace by me and by other Manchester United fans. It was horrible to watch. They were divided. The turnaround is transformational. It's unbelievable what Erik ten Hag's done.
Well, how important is today in kicking on for the next two?
I said before the game, it was about 2003-06 we didn't win a trophy, and you feel like you're never going to win a league again, you're never going to win a trophy again, you're never going to be up there again. And this was the catalyst, this trophy, for feeling confident and putting some belief into the squad. That squad will be dangerous with a medal round the neck. They will, because you'd like to think that Erik ten Hag's going to improve them again. Obviously in the next 12 to 18 months, there's still a lot to play for this season. They're still not at the level of Arsenal and Manchester City, that's clear, but where they are and what they're doing is something that I never would have imagined 6 months ago.
Well, you think back to the 13th of August when they were beaten, humiliated by Brentford, and at that point you would never have seen this coming. The medals are handed over individually. The captains wait for the representatives of Carabao to hand over the trophy until they are all in a line, all on the platform, ready to take the acclaim and take the three-handled trophy that is the original League Cup. And here's the man who's made it all possible, the manager, Erik ten Hag. Here comes the handover. The League Cup is back in Manchester, but this time in the possession of United. The sixth time that they've won this trophy. And heroes right along the line. Rafael Varane, who's won plenty in his career. Whereas you look at somebody like Luke Shaw, it's his first ever major trophy. David De Gea has even won this one before, back in 2017. But Erik ten Hag, what a culture change he's brought at Manchester United. There have probably been key markers along the way in that, when he stood up to Cristiano Ronaldo, when he stood up to Marcus Rashford, when he was late for a game at Wolves, which he ended up coming on and winning. And really, there's no doubt now who's in charge, and Manchester United reaping the benefits of that. So Manchester United, winners of the Carabao Cup 2023.
and they continue their celebrations up out on the balcony. It's all on the big screen here for the Manchester United fans, and it goes to the manager Erik ten Hag, and that probably gets the biggest cheer of all of those men lifting that trophy. And interestingly, Roy, when they came up onto that balcony at the start, the biggest cheer from the United fans was for the manager.
Yeah, I think they realise what a brilliant job he's done in such a short space of time. He was brought in to try and obviously rebuild the club, get them to compete a bit more. Obviously, what's gone on the last few years, the team have been, do you know what, it's been, I've said it, I've been really critical. I kind of dislike what they stood for the last few years. They weren't a team, they weren't in it together. Obviously, issues on and off the pitch. But what the manager's done in this short space of time is fantastic. They've recruited well, they've got a spirit. We saw today they weren't at their very best, but they're getting into the habit of winning football matches. So yeah, the fans appreciate that, and he deserves all the credit, but there's a lot of hard work ahead. The players now have got to use this as a springboard to get more trophies over the next few years. That's what it's about playing for Man United, competing to win trophies.
And also, when you think about they had Alex Ferguson for 25 years, after that it was really complicated to get a manager with this sort of aura towards the players. And you know, the Manchester fans, they were waiting for something, you know, more stable. And hopefully Erik ten Hag will be the one who bring success back to the club, the way they belong.
Do you think, look, he hasn't got the aura of Sir Alex Ferguson yet because of the longevity of Ferguson. No. But does he start to have an aura now?
You need to have the backup of the fans as a manager. But you know, it's a very quick game. Now it's fine. In 6 months' time, remember Ranieri at Leicester. He won the league. 6 months later, he was sacked. So, you know, as a manager, you never know. You have the result that you take game by game.
I just think when you look at Ten Hag, you look at Alex Ferguson, you knew he was in charge at Manchester United. I think you look at Ten Hag now and you think he's in charge at Manchester United now. It doesn't matter who comes in. There's no player bigger than Ten Hag at Manchester United, and I think that's what Manchester United's been crying out for a long time.
And when you think of the bad start they had, you know, you're thinking lack of confidence, the belief, imagine, from the supporters after such a difficult start to the season where they were really poor and didn't perform. The recovery from the good players, the manager, staff, then again, fantastic. Get their hands on a trophy, but in the next few years you hope United also get back to competing and winning league titles and competing in the Champions League.
And also, it takes time to build a club, to build a team for a manager. You know, people are very impatient most of the time, but you need to wait. You need to wait at least 2-3 years working with the same players, with the same manager, with the same idea, the same philosophy, until you get the result. You can't get results in 6 months. It doesn't happen in football.
Yeah, totally agree. I think they've been patient. It wasn't great at the beginning, but there was a lot of stuff